today. Boom! With the drape out. No hat. No given. You know what we're talking. If things are gonna play out how we just saw them play out today, we're gonna just go ahead and join the situation. We're gonna change it up a little bit because that's what has been sneakily snuck in, but you can't tell. There's nothing sneaky about what you're seeing on your screen today. Anyways, after our thoughts and feelings on the rainout that should have been happening, which was the second night of this bite week. They had higher rain chances, all this stuff. This race raced. And it was interesting to see the field that was on hand, but they still got a night of racing in, and it was interesting. Now, obviously, Donny Schatz picked up the win in this complete ordeal. When it comes to Donny Schatz, there's a lot of things that have been changing this entire year. Now, before we get into Schatz and what could continue to change, will the transition be completed is what everybody needs to be asking themselves with Schatz. But before that, will the transition be completed to a comeback for one driver known as Carson Macedo? Of course, the third place finisher here tonight at Volusia. It is daytime here in Australia. The next day, we're a day ahead of you people. That's why we're able to talk so thoroughly and understanding. But coming from the future as I am right now, hopefully the future for Carson Macedo and the Phil Dietz Racing team, which I don't know what's happened there. It still says Jason Johnson Racing. I thought this year was going to be the full transition to Phil Dietz Motorsports. I'll have to get back over into the States to figure that out because I am thoroughly confused. Regardless, Phil Dietz in this 41, very, very high performing most of the time, but did not start off the year very great at Volusia. But bouncing back to a podium finish is where this JJR 41 was being projected to be a lot here in 2024. A lot of people, were saying, David Gravel, you're the champion. You're the one. Maybe Carson Macedo and the 41 is going to give you a run for your money, but Brad Sweet's out the building. It's David Gravel's championship to lose. I said, it looks like that, but usually, ladies and gentlemen, in life, and we're going to get into that, usually when it looks so obvious to the herd of people, the sheep, the white sheep, the black sheep, you're still a sheep, to the herd, when it looks so obvious, that usually means that's a decoy. That is not going to be so easily obtainable. That is not real. And Carson Macedo was the person in most people's eyes, in the herd's eyes, to bash that on up, to not allow that to happen. But to have Macedo come back, get into third, good job by the 41 team. I have a feeling that this team is going to claw back, but there are some issues to come back from inherited issues that they're going to have to come back from, because obviously they kind of got a whole new team supporting Phil Dietz, which is very important. The sprint car racing thing up and down the road all year long, week in and week out, is very tough. And even though Phil Dietz is still intact, obviously you had, Nate Rippetts. He's removed himself from the building. Clyde has gone as well. So new people in there. Maybe it took them a couple weeks to gel and get in line and really get this thing hitting on all cylinders. Speaking of all cylinders, somebody who's already picked up a win and is looking very strong is the 17 of Sheldon Haudenschild. Sheldon Haudenschild, however you want to call it. I'll say it how I want to do it, damn it. Sheldon, the only person in motorsports it seems like the announcers call by their first name, Sheldon here. He's looking very strong. Now, this is a guy that, going into the season last year or years previous, it's Sheldon's year, and that expectation has always kind of fell flat in those years. And it seemed like coming into this season, everybody's talking about Gravel, Macedo, maybe a Schuchart, although Schuchart's had that same kind of expectation and people haven't seen it haven't seen it play out due to consistency. Everybody has to start out strong and definitely show their ability from the get go and all throughout the year. There's a lot of consistency needed to perform well in the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series in that championship battle. So I don't feel like Sheldon was really on a lot of people's radar due to that hype in previous years that never was lived up to. I feel like that's also the same kind of reason you didn't hear Schuchart's name really thrown a lot. You heard Macedo, you heard Gravel a lot. Now, even though Sheldon already has a win and this is a second place finish, prior to this race, just looking at the points real quick, Sheldon and Macedo were technically right there with one another. I mean, they're both 84, 90 points back, even though Sheldon does have the win. Macedo had been a little bit more consistent, even though he had a bad run to open the year. Even though compared to someone like Sheldon, it still wasn't that bad ahead of him in points. Obviously, another driver ahead of these two in points that had a really good night that went up in tire debris was Buddy Kofoid, who I thought could be a wild card instantly into this whole series and really jumble up expectations for how this championship battle is going to play out. But Buddy Kofoid just not having luck on his side, and luck does play a huge factor in this championship battle that we see here in the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series year in and year out. Obviously, the points right here have not been updated. This is the points after the Volusia early or February races, that is. And it was very interesting to see how 6 of the top 10 were high limit. And it looks like, what is that, 7 of the top 12 were high limit drivers. So we ain't got a real clear picture with this points update that we have seen here. Obviously, come tomorrow morning for some of you American audiences, you're going to have an updated picture, but I'm sure this is going to jumble up just a little bit. Of course, Gravel and Selzy are the two top guys right now, and then Schatz and Schuchart, but you have these high limit guys in there mixing it up. It'll be interesting to see how the points shake up for Macedo and Hodenschild. It should still shuffle out to that degree of separation, being 84-90. I believe it's only 2 points per position in the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, I believe. Don't hate me or run at me or throw something at me, but I know that it is very hard to make up ground, and that's kind of the point being here, is somebody like Macedo or Sheldon being 84, 90 points back. That's a lot in the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, especially when you're going up against guys like Gravel and Giovanni Selzy, and of course the winner, Donny Schatz, who was currently 20 points coming into the night. So it's very interesting to see how this championship points battle is going to play out. Obviously, it looks like Gravel's involved, Selzy's involved, Macedo and Sheldon. If Sheldon can keep up the consistency, I wouldn't see why he wouldn't be involved there as well. Schuchart, is consistent, but I said it a few weeks ago. And after tonight's win by Donny Schatz, I think that things have finally come to fruition. Things are being noticed. There's a lot of situations in motorsports that, in my opinion, tip off what is happening, what the forces of nature are doing, and how they actually interact. And we talked about the JJR 41 and how it looks and all this stuff, and the decoy-ish scenarios for the herd. If you look at this stuff, not with the herd mentality, but a shepherd, and you see how the wolves move and manipulate, you can understand things like I understood in 2019 with David Gravel, Jeff Gordon, and the Exalta 41. 5 months out, I said the week is over. Sew up the whole week, the fix is in, because I knew what they were doing. I also felt the energy in the world change just a little bit, because it was all in the same day. It all happened. Too many things connect, and you got fired. Now, I said that Donny Schatz could be this guy that could come in, because I think most everybody knows. I think most everybody who wants to openly admit it knows that Donny Schatz was one of the most dominating sprint car drivers in the history of sprint car racing. Of course, this is win number 500 in sprint car races tonight after Donny Schatz got this done. 500 in sprint car. That includes the 360s. That includes his win with the All-Stars with his LS motor that got rejected by the cartels of the world. I don't know what that means technically, but I think so. The Chevy LS motor. We knew how dominant that Donnie was. And then this Ford motor came along and just all of a sudden somebody who was dominant in this amazing thing went mid-pack. And they've slowly been climbing themselves back up. And if they have figured it out like they might have figured it out, then what I was saying about Donny Schatz potentially coming in here and being the old Don that we all know, that people are scared and afraid, that I think some of these guys in the field and in the pits tonight are saying, oh shit, that looked like Donny Schatz. I said it before the green flag dropped. I said, oh, Donny Schatz that close to the front, they better look out. Because Don Schatz has been looking like the Don Schatz that we know, the old Don, King Don. You obviously want Trump, old Donnie, in the office, so we may have a conglomerate that the world has never seen back to Exalted in the 41, Don Gier. You see what I'm saying? This is how it all plays out. But there is a problem. There is a problem that it seems like this group is slowly starting to understand that is keeping them from bridging the gap. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So, like I was saying, a couple weeks ago, I said the season could change right here. And this was after the Florida Speed Weeks, and obviously I put Trumpy in there. There's a reason. I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm trying to hint to y'all people in the 31 situation. I'm trying to 30 your ass up. This was 14 days ago on our live streams on the Chaz here on the page. Go check it out. But I said the season could change right now, and I put Donny Schatz in there. And what did I go in here and explain? What did I have to say? Well, for those who have paid attention to what I have been trying to say to Donny Schatz, to the sprint car world of society, what I have been trying to convey, the message that I'm trying to convey to those who are fans of Donny Schatz, to Donny Schatz, to all the people involved, if they want Don to win the championship on the track and in the political game, there has to be some changes. And this is what I'm talking about. This right here. Once again, I don't know who approved this design for Donny Schatz. You see his face back there, ladies and gentlemen? You see that face in the blue? The blue and the gold and all this stuff is fine. Color scheme, okay, fine, I can accept it. But how they crayon this shit together and just slapped it on the 10-time World Outlaw or all these things champions. All this amazingness, the description I was just giving you. How they could dare say or put Donny Schatz into this monstrosity of a vehicle. This is the ugliest sprint car I've seen in my life. I would rather it be duct tape numbers and just a straight up blue car. And even though they've been running well this year, this is going to hold the team back. This thing has to change. This is my campaign for 2024. Save the Don. Save Donny Schatz's career. We cannot have him running around tracks looking like this shit. Now, you may think, oh, that stupid Chaz, it's just a paint scheme. It doesn't matter. But did anyone notice tonight? Did you notice how they snuck in the understanding of what the hell that is? This is a picture from tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Right here. They've already made an adjustment to the Ford Performance on the hood. This was a picture taken from the car that rode out the trailer this evening. And what happened when And this is a sign from God. I don't know who believes in this stuff or who understands how this stuff actually works, the symbolism, the signs, the color, the gematria of the situation. But they changed the just a little small alteration to the car, and they got a W. They got a win. They came out and looked like that was your sign from God. TSR and Donny Schatz Motorsports, whatever you're calling yourself over there, group of people in this scenario. That was your sign from God. You change, if you just please change it up. And if you just change it a little, we'll give you a win. God just gave y'all a win. That's what happened. Donny Schatz won the race, but God made it happen. And he did that because of this slight alteration to this paint scheme that is just so disrespectful to Donny Schatz and his legacy in motorsports. But regardless, you got a W. God has shown you the light. Now, what do you do with that light? Do you just only change the lettering on the car? Is that all we're going to do here? Is that all we're going to do here? You could see it in Victory Lane, the writing in the background matching the writing here. Is a win all that's good enough? Or do you want a championship? If this, I will put it down on, I already know what's going to happen. I hope I'm wrong. But whoever's watching this, I'm just letting you know. The signs have arrived. You changed the lettering, you just altered this paint scheme, and it's a lot better than whatever was before. But still, when this car first came out, I thought it was a prank. I thought, here's my other video when I first saw it. I thought this shot scheme was a prank. I didn't believe it was real. I didn't believe that they would put Donny Schatz in this car. I thought it was something that somebody did on the World of Outlaws video game. So, if this conglomerate, this team will recognize the signs from the universe, God, karma, whatever you want to call it, Allah, I don't know who's all involved here. Maybe the cows or something. I don't know. Are you Hindu? I'm not sure. But this is a sign. Change it up. There's a guy from New Zealand made these mock-up cars. They look beautiful. What was the one? It's in here somewhere in this video. Hold on, let me show you. It's right up in here. I know it is. We got these nice cars that you can pick from, Donnie. We got these nice cars. I mean, this guy did a hell of a job. I'm not sure it's gonna play out, but there was some amazing schemes in this video that we made. That this guy in New Zealand. I know there has to be people outside of me in the sprint car world that recognizes that this Donny Schatz scheme is one of the ugliest race cars to exist in racing history. So this was one projected. This guy in New Zealand saw the help that is needed. He suggested, he made up all these mock schemes. Did a whole Ford performance setup of lineup with different variations of colors and looks. This guy, these people out here, guys, recognize the need and desire for there to be something fixed and something rectified than this damn thing. The world sees it. And I'm not saying you have to do what this guy did. I don't know who it is. Some dude out of New Zealand, Riser Designs or something like that. But look how beautiful that car is. Heater Design Studio. I'm sure he would just give y'all this thing. But this is what is going to drive you to a championship. This change right here. Y'all already got the white right. He tried to show you. He tried to show you. And if y'all need to stay with the two-tone look to please sponsors, here we go. I mean, look at these beautiful race cars here. But once again, if you're going to ignore the signs, and you're going to stay with this look, I just feel bad for your future in racing. If you're not going to listen to God, and I believe this was a sound, this was the trumpets being played, I don't know what's going to happen. But if you will make the decision to choose to listen to the word and switch the car up to a more respectable paint scheme for Donny freaking Schatz, I think that this was a sign that if you change it a little bit, you'll get a win. And if you change it all the way, you will have a champion, and that will be Donny Schatz. I think it's going to be hard to beat Donny Schatz in this year. It's looking fast. It's looking quick. It's looking consistent. More so than we have seen before. I think Donny Schatz is going to do some amazing things. Now, the schedule coming up for the World Outlaw Sprint Car Series is definitely not easy. The schedule coming up for this season, it's not going to be simplistic. They're about to do some new tracks that they've never been to. I can't under explain or underestimate or I can't really build up how amazing the race is going to be at Kennedale Speedway Park. It's going to be like California quarter miles, real fast, short action, but slick and smooth like Port Royal. This is going to be some amazing racing you're going to see at KSP. Cotton Bowl, always a good racetrack. Kind of has that Tulare kind of shape, but once again, slicks off and smooth like a Port Royal. Big O Speedway is going to be a great race, and then Lawton, and then Thunderbird, and 81 Speedway, and then you get back into your typical outlaw racetracks. Of course, the Jason Johnson Classic going to be at Arrowhead. That's into April. US 36 Raceway. I-55 will get into that typical World Outlaw schedule. Knoxville with their new spring dates. Jacksonville and a bunch of other races. And then Eldora and the PA Swings and stuff like that. But there is a lot of question marks. But if that scheme I'm sure it can't change by KSP. But at some point, please listen to the Lord. The sign was that color scheme that changed it. And just the lettering. The sign is there. Please go all the way. And you'll have a new champion. Or another championship to put behind you as you're interviewing Gio Scelzi next year. That's what I got to say. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, not too much other news. The only news that I did see that was worth noting, SprintCarUnlimited.com, Jeremy Elliott putting out that Kerry Madsen has partnered with Tony Vermeer in a joint venture to start up a new team in 2024. Obviously, that's the headline. I'm not going to read the details because that's why SprintCarUnlimited.com has a link for you to go click and pay and read and listen to and watch and get all the details. Now, if anyone else goes on here and kind of relays all the details within the story, I believe that's cutting the lifeline off of Jeremy Elliott and all the work in this story that he has put together. Unless Jeremy Elliott himself puts it out here on YouTube. So I'm not going to disperse any more information that may be obtained in that article because I didn't put it together and he did, and he got all the P's and Q's. So go check out SprintCarUnlimited.com. It's a very, very small amount to subscribe to read the details of this story. We can click it right now. Maybe it's a freebie. Let's see if this is a detailed freebie message here. And it looks like it is not. So all you have to do, go to the website. You'll see it right here, SprintCarUnlimited.com. Subscribe now. That's all you got to do. Just click subscribe now. It's a very cheap rate. For 1 year, you can get it for $35. Look at that. Look how easy that would be. 1 year, $35. 3 month for $18. So if you want to go check out all the details on this Kerry Madsen, Tony Vermeer team that's coming out, all you need is $35. And if you ain't got $35 for racing, then racing may not need you. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got to say today. I'm not trying to be mean to Donny Schatz and the crew there. I just think that it is very important that the true representational figure of a modern Steve Kinser goes out with some dignity and respect. And I just don't think that paint scheme provides that to Donny Schatz. I think it is sad, personally. And I hope that it's fixed. And I hope that they can see the signs from the Lord. Change the writing up you changed it up just a little bit. W, right out of the gate. Tire blows up on Buddy Kofoid. Who knows why? I know why. I know why that tire blew up on Buddy Kofoid. And I'm trying to tell you why as well. Listen to the Lord, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to the Lord. Anyway, if he's gonna look that way on camera, I guess I'll look just as fucked up too. Although honestly, no matter how bad my hair looks right now, oh my God, it's horrible. It still don't look worse than that. Hell no. Still don't look worse than that. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to the video. If you have a differing comment, if you think Donny Schatz's paint scheme is the best paint scheme to ever walk this earth, that's all right. Devils do exist, and apparently a demon has possessed you because this is a demonic point of view, in my opinion. In my opinion. But you can leave a comment and help the algorithm out. Outside of that, you can like the video. If you agree, you could share it around. If you'd like to support and get your name up here on the screen, there is a membership button, and it's free to subscribe to the Chaz here on YouTube. Also, longlivethechaz.com for all your merchandise needs. And we will probably be bringing some stickers back with us to the stateside here very soon. I don't know if we're going to sell them. We'll probably just give them away. That's what we've been doing here down under. So we will continue that once we get back onto the stateside of life. Me personally, this week I'll be at ACT Speedway, I believe they're calling it, Canberra, or something like that. We'll figure it out when we get there. Be sure to subscribe to keep up with all the fun interactive things that we got going here. We're probably going to be doing some amazing content this week at Sydney International Speedway, so stay tuned for that as well. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to subscribe, and we will catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
We can ride high, we can ride low, we can ride anywhere we need to go. We can ride on